I used to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Technically, I still am because I have not been formally disfellowshipped or disassociated. As anyone familiar with the rules of being part of this group knows, doing so would bring serious consequences to my relationship with my mother, who is still indoctrinated. When I discovered the ex-Jehovah's Witness community and found others that I could relate to for the first time, my world opened up and I was finally mentally free. I would like to make this channel a place to discuss the truth about the damage that has been done by this particular group and how to make the most of the awakening from it. You see, from my point of view, the Jehovah's Witness religion has a particularly harmful effect on its people and the families that it touches. As with many other strict religious upbringings, the skewing of reality and deprivation of freedom leads to dysfunction on many levels. All mind control groups like Scientology, Mormonism, and fundamental evangelical sects cause pain and dysfunction. However, I believe the Jehovah's Witness religion may be more harmful because it requires more isolation from humanity and more repression of love and understanding of the self and others. When you are a Jehovah's Witness, you fervently believe that worldwide destruction is imminent. Since the end never comes, your major life decisions will likely be horrible ones. What will be your career choice? Will you go to college? Will you marry? Who will you marry? Will you marry from the small pool of eligible Jehovah's Witnesses? Or will you be forever marked as having married outside of the truth? Will you have children? Shouldn't you just wait until the new system to have children? All of these decisions will be made under the impression that this life that you are experiencing right now is just a phase and doesn't really count for anything except for spiritual survival into the next. So what are your interests? Even if they are acceptable to the organization, whatever you want to do for fun or talents that you would like to develop, they should be put off until after the current world is destroyed. Meanwhile, all faithful, spiritually strong Jehovah's Witnesses are spending all their time absorbing Watchtower doctrine and working to convince others about the impending destruction. Sadly, because Jehovah's Witnesses believe that they alone know the truth about what is about to happen to worldly people, the value of the lives of those outside of the religion are greatly diminished in the minds of the cult members. As a Jehovah's Witness, even your family members who do not believe are filed away in your brain as someone who will soon be destroyed. Since they are not able to see the truth as you believe that it is, you can easily become numb to the loss of them as a coping mechanism. You imagine the day when they will see that they should have followed your lead and subjected themselves to your cruel and jealous God, and then die with regret. All of the billions who will soon die at Armageddon are seen as part of Satan's world, and if God destroys them, then their death is justified. Jehovah's Witnesses have to work very hard to keep up an elitist image to everyone they meet, to themselves and to their spiritual family, the congregation. Often this means that they have to suppress who they really are. The demands to studying the doctrine and spend time in meetings or field service are overwhelming. All the while, the literature and teachings often imply that individuals are not doing enough to serve the organization and, by extension, their vengeful God. This brings Jehovah's Witnesses to suffer very high levels of depression, guilt, shame, and suicide. Jehovah's Witnesses are required to remain separate from the world. This is the root of the us versus them grip that many other religions have always used to tear this world apart. But with Jehovah's Witnesses, the separateness goes much farther. They are required to stay neutral in community affairs. and friendships outside of the believing group are not condoned. Famously for Jehovah's Witnesses, they block traditional holiday celebrations. By doing this, they exclude gatherings of family and friends that serve to build bonds that humans depend on to remain mentally healthy. Not being there when the family gathers is one of the many reasons that for Jehovah's Witnesses, relationships are strained within families and friendships are rarely developed. Inside the Jehovah's Witness group, there is an effort to replicate what has been given up by arranging gatherings among themselves, but oftentimes these gatherings only include the spiritually strong ones, or are by default another setting in which individuals must maintain the new personality that the religion requires of its members. Along with elitism and isolationism and anticipation of billions of fellow humans being destroyed at any moment, the Jehovah's Witness religion goes farther than any other mainstream belief in God to repress the sexuality of its adherents. There are two major fixations among Jehovah's Witnesses, sex and the demons, and often the two are fearfully intertwined. Jehovah's Witnesses are burdened with many rules in life, and the rules about sex causes a mountain of pain and dysfunction that can last throughout entire lifetimes. There are many ways Jehovah's Witnesses may lose out in life. Let's not forget that there are the numerous individuals who are martyrs for the dangerous belief that blood transfusions are unacceptable. And while child abuse is found in all religions, the Jehovah's Witness religious rules actually make keeping instances of child abuse secret easier for the perpetrators. I could go on for a long time showing how harmful this religion is, not only to the individuals enmeshed in it and to the family members who have loved ones in it, but to society as a whole. The Jehovah's Witnesses have been diligently spreading their harmful ideas to many millions of people for many decades. They emphasize the most negative and ugly parts of humanity in order to prove to themselves that this world should be destroyed, and the sooner the better. This gloom has played its part in shaping the world that we all share. Jehovah's Witnesses are bound by the beliefs of a handful of delusional men and men who decided everything for you or your parents 150 years ago. When stepping out of the watchtower-shaped reality, you discover that while there are obstacles to face as an ordinary human, obviously the world is not ruled by Satan and his demons. It can be quite abundantly full of kindness, unconditional love, and actual factual knowledge. Once you see that your own beliefs that were given to you by someone else can be disproven, you have the advantage now because you can see that belief is subjective and variable. Many people find comfort in their religion and have no identifiable need to look further, so most people never really wake up to the fact that you can choose beliefs that match your own experiences and interactions with others. You can choose to believe in magic and power that you control. You can create any kind of belief that you wish, beliefs that make you a better person and that make you happy with who you are. Since I discarded the narrow-mindedness of religion, I discovered that humans have ultimate power to shape and control their own lives. This means that while I was deprived of freedoms and choices in the past that led to a lot of misery for me, I am now honing my power to use love and positivity to make the life I have now and in the future full of love and fulfillment. I will not let the rest of my life be controlled by a cruel and selfish God that was chosen for me by someone else. I will decide for myself the answers to all the big questions. I will expand my life to love and appreciate all the goodness that is here in this world right now. I will not waste the remainder of my precious life that I have right now.